Into the realm of the PL-89, into the realm of the higher time, into the realm of the Messiah time. It is simple to sing the tune, match the sun up with the moon, with the sun and before the moon, as per Psalm 72. The two calendars are one, match the moon up with the sun. Yaakov and Esav, Tikkun and Tohu, and with that our work is done. This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar for Friday, February 13th, 2026. And it is the 26th day of Shvat. 5786, the Parsha is Mishpatim, and the Daf Yomi is Menachot 33. This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar. It was started in the year 2012. The ideas came in early on in the year, and different signs were given, like in springtime, about it. And then it came, all the parts and pieces came together by the summertime. And by late summer, I'd already had the first prototype of it, the first design for the original, the first draft. And then I printed it out, and then I had a bunch of numbers that were based on some ideas that I thought about for some time. And it had different, I was experimenting with it over the years, seeing how it could be used, what is the usefulness of it. And it developed over the years. And it will complete, meaning I can have it maybe, who knows, for many more years, but the actual work of it, it's called completed. In the springtime, God willing, the springtime meaning ER, like after Passover, the Omer time of 5786 is when this will have run over 13 and a half years, closer to 14 years. And there's a midrash about Jacob, the patriarch Jacob, Yaakov Avinu, that after he ran away from Esau, that he spent 14 years studying in a particular yeshiva, as it's called, of Shem Be'aver, 14 years. So that's a number that I can now relate to very well, because I know when this started, and I have been studying this for 14 years. And at the end of 14 years, it turned 13 in September, Elul time, and now it is gradually moving towards 14, and this September, God willing, at end of August, early September, it will be 14 years old. And what it turned into and plateaued at is a lunar and solar calendar, as the song says. The two calendars are one, match the moon up with the sun. And it's basically two calendars in one. It's the Hebrew calendar and it's the Gregorian calendar, and it wrestles with, or it tackles topics such as gematria, Sod HaIbur. If you're familiar with that term, Sod HaIbur is the secret of the intercalations, and when, or the particular years that are leap years on the Jewish calendar, 7 times in a 19-year Metonic cycle, and when these years happen to be leap years, there's a deep secret behind it. There's a wisdom and a meaning to it. And I'm trying to find out about that through this calendar. And it's useful in many other things as well. It's useful in managing time and data in just about anything you can use it for. If you know gematria, and then the names connect to times, and times connect to, it's just a number. It's just a number could be anything. So it could be amount of money and the time and the name and the date and all those things, and to try to get them to line up in some sort of coherent, cohesive way. So the process, there's different processes and different rules and different things, and I've been sharing them over this past 7 or 8 months. Since July or Thomas of last year, I started making videos on this daily. And there's different methodologies, there's different techniques, and I've been explaining a lot about it, the rules and the protocol and all that kind of stuff over the year. But now there's certain basic processes like this. There's a sun number and a moon number every day. The PL-89 takes them and unifies them, and it does that by adding them. Of course, you can multiply them as well. But for now, I'm just adding them. So basically, on this calendar, as I've explained in other videos, there's many different things that determine. There's 3 different dispensations, etc. The bottom line is that today, on the solar calendar, which is the Gregorian calendar, it's February 13th. And February 13th will always be the 13th day of any month in this dispensation, will always be in a box with the number 30 printed on it. It's box 13, and box 13 is labeled 30. And so that would be the number for the sun. February 13th, box 30, that's your solar number, okay? The lunar number is the Hebrew calendar. Hebrew calendar, it's 26, the 26th day of Shvat. And 26 on this calendar, in this dispensation, Shvat, or any so-called fixed month. You can look that up. If you want to look about the types of months there are in astrology, you can look up cardinal, fixed, and mutable, and it explains a lot about that. So any fixed month in dispensation 3 will always be, whether it's Shvat or February, basically saying Aquarius. It's going to be 26th day will always be, see here, it's 24, right here, in a box with the number 21 printed on it. Okay, so that's your lunar number. The lunar number is 21, and the solar number is 30. So the process, the PL-89 process, at least one of them, one I've been doing lately, is you add them together. You add the solar number and the lunar number, so you get 21 and 30, of course, is going to be 51. So the PL-89 number, fusion number for the day, the sun and moon mixed together, as it were, for today is 51. So now what? Like, what do you do with 51? So the 51 is your starting point. And I'm in the process of this, call it like a mathematical discovery. And it's a very interesting process where you take any word, pick any word, and then you convert that word into a number. And that's called gematria. And then once you get the number, and you use a very simple cipher. It's in English, but you can do it in Hebrew. I think it works for sure for both because it's math. It's not limited. It can work in any language because you're basing it on numbers. That basically, the way it works is that let's just start with 51. Let's say 51. The English word wine equals 51. WINE equals 51, right? I'm going to check it just to make sure. Wine is 51, yes. So now, wine takes you to the number of the day. Okay, great. Now what? So now you turn 51. You write out, you turn that number that you have, which is 51, and you can be expressed in a different way. You can express that same number by saying FIFTYONE. You can do that. And then you'll have a word now, 51, which means the same thing, but it's a word now. Now what do? Now you take that word and you turn that into a number. So you do that by saying, you apply the cipher to it. Today, there are plenty of gematria calculators. You don't have to do it by hand. So basically what the process is that, like, F is the sixth letter, so it's 6, and I is the ninth letter, then F is the sixth letter, T is the 20th letter, Y 25, like that. You add 51, you add all those letters together, you're going to get a result. What are you going to get? You're going to come out with a result of the number 100. Right? So now that you have 100, what do? You write out 100 letters, O-N-E, 100, and then you'll get a result. You're going to get 108. It's very close, it's only 8 points off. 100 itself is 74, right? Right. But 100 is 108. So now you have the number 108. So now you turn 108 into a number. And then you'll get 157. And so on and so forth. 157, get number, dun, 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 dun. And you go and you keep doing that. For several iterations, it could be many. It could be 8, 9, 10, 15. But at some point, like what I've seen is not more than 20, or not more than 30 maybe. Maybe it's a really hard number. It's going to go to 30 or something. But basically, at some point, it's going to cross a line where it hits a number, and then only a few steps after that, there'll be a loop. Which means it will go, let's just say, I'll make it up. I came across this recently with number 74. I went 74, kept on going. And once it hit 240, then I call that the event horizon. Once you pass the event horizon, you get into the black hole. And once you're in the black hole, you're in an infinite feedback loop, which means it'll go 240, and then you write out 240, and only about 2 or 3 more or 4 more iterations, you'll go back to 240. So it'll be like, let's just say 240, and then you write out 240, and then it'll become 216, and 216 will be like 153, and then 153 will go back. Will turn to 240 again. So 240, and then that means that you hit the stopping point. You've completed that number. That might be like, I'm just comparing it because I'm just like an amateur mathematician. I'm not really, know math that well, but I like studying it. So maybe it's like when you come to a calculator and you press, this divided by this, and you get some fraction, but then it goes like 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. It goes like, or 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, whatever. All these numbers in the end, it repeats. So I think that maybe this process that I'm describing to you now is kind of like that. It gets to the point where it just repeats. It goes, or it could be like 687. 687 542, 687 542, 687 542, like that, and that kind of a thing. At some point, the number will just repeat. So I think that this process of words turning into numbers and numbers turning back into words is the same thing. It seems to me, like just intuitively, from observation, it seems like it would be comparable to that. That would be its equivalent. So what's the point of that? Well, the point of that is that this is all just speculation, but like I'm kind of seeing a vision of it. Sometimes I see in my mind like something could be, but it's very, very fuzzy. It's not clear, but I see a general picture, like those like impressionistic paintings. Maybe it's Rembrandt or something. It's kind of like real fuzzy, or Monet maybe. Monet is like that. Some boats on the Rembrandt is not like that. I think Monet. I was confusing it. It's like you see a few boats on a on the water, and it's kind of like a blurry. You get the general idea. So what this is that once you have enough of these pathways, these numbers that they go along a trajectory, and then they lead to this sort of like infinite loop. If it's applied to the ideal world, then these ideas can turn into numbers. Then you can find out where the ideas lead to. You can test out the veracity of an idea by running it in its numeric form. This idea, okay, anyways, I'll just be wasting time now because I think you got the idea. But anyway, that's the process I've been using today. Lately, and it's been kind of interesting.